Good morning, everybody. I hope you can see my screen now. I just wanted to say hello. I'm thrilled to be on this project. I think it's great that there's so much initiative. Thank you very much, Nessa and Teresa, for inviting me over. Just to give you a line, to my personal, I've been in the media radio business for 25 years now in Austria. As Teresa mentioned, 15 years country. On the morning show on Corona Hit, I helped bringing to life 2 radio stations, one regional, one nationwide, and we are very thrilled on working like good content, good stories, good role modeling. So I'm going to pick up exactly there where it left us and give you some examples how it worked for us in Austria. Some information on our radio stations. We are Krone Hit, die meiste Musik. So obviously we play a lot of music. As you can see, we have a very colorful, a very lively brand. This is a pic from Krone Hit Electric Love Festival, which we host every year in the mountains of Salzburg, bringing in all the DJs from the world. We're the #1 nationwide commercial station in Austria, have been there in this position for over 20 years, luckily. We reach a basis of 1 million people on a daily reach, 2.7 on a weekly reach, which is kind of the third of Austria's population at the moment. And we're obviously targeted at a younger audience, 14 to 39-year-olds. And we have a very CHR music-driven format. Nevertheless, as you all know, it's even more important to bringing content, emotion, and topics that really are on top of minds of people. So we have a lot of young people we want to connect with. And as you surely know, this is the great challenge for everybody nowadays with all the disruption that has been going on over the last years in media business. And the even way greater challenge that kind of touches everybody is, of course, climate change. Especially in the younger audiences, this is a big thing. And to underline all the emotion that comes with it, I want to share with you a clip one of our reporters recorded some weeks ago in Austria, in the capital in Vienna, where climate activists keep sticking themselves to the streets. Just watch. So you can see all the emotion and aggression that's in the topic, and this has been going on for weeks. Just this morning, the whole Viennese capital has been shut down by climate activists who desperately want to be heard by public, by politicians. And on the other hand, you have a lot of people kind of losing their nerves about it and who are still not on board. So how can you include all of them? Because of course they may all be listening to your station. And more importantly, we asked ourselves, how can you do that in like not just a too scientific or too preachy or too negative way, as Claire pointed out before? How could you do that in like a really fun and engaging way, especially if you're a commercial station that has a lot of entertainment and music going on? So these are 3 ideas that worked for us. First, we looked at the promos and content benchmarks we already had and try to fit it in there. So we kick off every year with the year of your life, which is a big thing because one listener gets a whole year of like awesomeness. We give them a holiday for a year, we give them a car for a year, we give them a credit card that magically reloads, we bring on a lot of sponsors on that and give them like a gym subscription. You can send them to the cinema for a whole year. You get everything that comes with it, and we try to frame it with a motto each year. And so we decided to paint the 1 year green, and we just took everything that comes with that. So we made it the Klimafit version. We worked that into the title, and we also gave them, instead of a car, an electric car with our partner Hyundai. We also gave them a card for public transport. so that they could use that with their families. And we gave them the credit card in a sense of, hey, buy regional, buy biological, because obviously that's more expensive. We made them go on holiday in our country to save like emissions, and didn't send them away with like planes to the beaches. And we contacted local farmers and got them a 1-year subscription for fresh fruit and vegetables and stuff like that. So your salespeople are going to love you for that, because they can bring in so many partners, so many local and regional partners. You can connect with e-mobility branches and stuff like that. And we also added a spot format to this. So we made a kind of long spot in the commercial break that's like a report where young startups could tell their stories. And that's double time money, you know, they get into the spotlight, you earn some money, you can even make storytelling greater in your commercial breaks if you kind of think of creative spot formats also in sense of climate and sustainability. And I'm going to play you now the clip of the payoff. The person who won it was Denise. She's 25 years old and has 2 little children and a husband, and she's living in Lower Austria. And of course, this also gives you a great combination, so you can put on your partners on spot and frame that with a lot of positive and good emotions. Obviously it's in German, but I think you get the sense of it, and you will find some keywords that work you through.
Denise, ja, eigentlich denkst du, das würde ich anrufen, um ein bisschen so mit dir zu plaudern? Eigentlich schon. Was ist, wenn wir dir jetzt sagen, Denise, dass das Krone-Hit-Jahr deines Lebens in der Klimafit Edition an dich geht? Nein, wirklich? Oh. Du gewinnst es. Ist das jetzt wirklich? Es ist wirklich wirklich. Das bedeutet so viel Erleichterung für mich. Oh Gott. Das ist jetzt wahrscheinlich noch wichtiger für deinen Mann, weil der sich ja so drauf freut. Auf das Elektroauto, den Hyundai Ioniq 5. Genau. Ja. Und mit dem fährt sie einfach jetzt so 1 Jahr lang komplett elektrisch und CO2-neutral. Und mit dem lädst du auch dann bis zu 100 Kilometer Reichweite in nur 5 Minuten. Und Ladeguthaben ist dann auch inklusive. Und das auch nicht. So, jetzt das Wichtigste für dich, Denise. Die magische Krone-Hit-Kreditkarte. Ja? Die kannst du wirklich anbrennen lassen, weil Monat für Monat lädt sie sich immer wieder neu auf.
So,
ich garantiere dir, du bekommst das Ganze.
You're getting the sense you can bring in every partner and make her cheer about it. Secondly, we thought about formats and benchmarks that maybe could thrive interaction and communication with your audience online and on the air. So we created a thing called the Gemeinde Challenge. A Gemeinde is the word for like communities or villages. So we reached out especially to smaller villages and asked them to share their project stories. So what projects in terms of climate and sustainability have you already done? Which are you planning? And we put them on spot and made them tell their story on the air. But that's good, that's great. But we even took it a level further and picked 5 of them and created a tour where we visited them and challenged them with fun eco challenges in order to pick a winner, step 3, via voting. That of course brings drive back to your website, and asked our communities who did best and gave them as award 10K to realize their next climate project they were planning on. So to make it like a round story, and it also gives you a great opportunity to come back to this story later on. Just 2 weeks ago, the winner of our Gemeinde Challenge reached out and said, hey, we now put on the photovoltaic panels, which we could afford thanks to this competition, and shared your story again. So it also gives you a great opportunity to do backselling. And to give you an idea of what Fun Eco Challenge means, or what we were thinking about while we created that, We asked one village to transport their priest from one end to the next end without having any carbon oxide emissions. And as you can see, they took it very seriously. So this is a lot of fun. We also chose challenges that had to involve as many people as possible from the villages. And of course, this is a great way to also make your reels and videos viral, because everybody will mark themselves up and share and share. Here's another example that speaks for itself.
Valentin Niederösterreich, eure Challenge Super Mario, zocken in real life, unplugged und komplett eco.
I'm sorry if it's a little bit rippy. I think it's the connection. I'm not sure if you have like a full flow, but you get the sense of it. So, and you don't, as you can see, it's not a Hollywood production, you know, and that's the charm of it, because it's very authentic. You can bring in the Disney vibe by just like choosing fun things and fun challenges, and you can get everybody on board and create a buzz and a talk of town. And it's all very connected in a very round story. And again, you also can bring in, of course, a lot of sales partners. You can pick a major sponsor that sponsors the whole thing. We had Hyundai again on board, and they gave us electric cars to get around. Or you can also bring in a lot of course, local partners and businesses and feature them on air as well within this challenge, or also, of course, on your social media. And third, I think it's very important, as Claire just told us, you know, to pick up the personal story and this personal moment and this personal approach to say, hey, let's just do this and be good role models. So we also asked our other personalities to act out as role models. And we asked our morning show to make a special week and dedicate the whole program to it, while transmitting the show on their ways to work and trying out alternative ways of transportation. So obviously for morning hosts, if you like get into the station very early, it's kind of fun. We made our main host Meinrad, he walked into the station like through a whole show. We had Luki, our traffic guy, you see him here. We made him come in via bicycle on a radial day, and we also kind of calculated the amount of dioxin carbon that has been saved. And the winner of the whole thing and the highlight was our morning show host Anita, as she came in with a horse. She had like 3 hours ride. She lives in a little village near the capital, and we made her go through morning traffic, which of course needs a little bit of planning ahead, because you have to look for a route that's suitable for horse and men and women, and which creates kind of a little bit of buzz in traffic, but doesn't block it or doesn't put anyone into danger. But it can all be done, and she even made it into our studio. And of course, that gave us great figures on our social media. And this is, by the way, Escada. She was the star of the story. And altogether, this 3 things we all did last year really boosted our social media performance at Krone Hit and gave us so much reach on all our channels, and so much interaction for the good cause, and it's such a good level to connect to your audience. So maybe if I just sum up some of the bullet points, you can really create buzz, you can really connect and interact with your audience, with your local communities also. It gives you so much sales opportunities on higher and smaller levels. You can really create a lot of entertaining content for on-air and social media performance, and you could really drive that as well and drive clicks back to your website and to social media. And I'm happy if you furthermore want to reach out. Here are my contacts, or just get back to Nessa or Teresa. They will send all over. So I'm going to stop the share now. Thank you for your attention. And if there are any questions, or if I can help you out with anything, I'll stick around. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have one question for you, Daniela, just about resources, because obviously commercial radio stations in Austria are very similar to Irish commercial radio stations. We don't have massive teams of producers and assistant producers and broadcast assistants and all that. How did you manage the kind of the back end? Because it looks like, you know, you were heavy on social and digital, the same as this project will be. You had to put time into the programming, the same as this project will be. So do you have any tips for stations in terms of how you manage your resources with personnel?
Yes, of course. I think you need to have commitment from the team. But as soon as you have that, it's no problem. For example, the thing with the Gemeinde Challenge, where we did the tour through the local communities, we just had 3 people that did the whole project. We had our on-air promotion, the woman who runs on-air promotion, she put a lot of work into casting the right communities, and she also went on the tour, and she was the link from the station to the project team outside and vice versa. And then we had one guy who did the reporting. You saw him, the blonde guy before the Super Mario thing, Freddie. He's also on our morning team, so we just took him off there, and he just did live reporting. And throughout the whole day, the way we did the challenge was every morning at 8 o'clock, we announced what the challenge will be. And then they had like the whole day, like until 4 o'clock in the afternoon, a drive time to get it done. So you could really you had the whole day, really great content to pick up. So because Freddie got back and said, well, we are now at this point, and now they found the Mario, and now they are thinking about getting a Luigi and stuff like that, to stick to that example. And then we had just one person for social media who was on the tour and sent in all the social media stuff. So that's not so much. And we could cover, let's say 50-60% of our content during that phase for social media and radio. Of course, obviously the horse thing, I mean, not every station may have a person with a horse, but there are a lot of other animals around, and it's just
You'd be surprised, Daniela. You'd be surprised.
Maybe you could do something with sheep. I don't know.
There you go. Thanks a million. Thanks. It's just good to hear, I guess, that if the team gets behind it, it is easier to do it.
Can be done. And please be reassured, we are also just cooking with water, and it's a lot of over hours and a lot of engagement here as well. But if it's for a good cause, and if it really catches the whole station, and if it's fun for the whole team, it can easily be done.
Thanks, Daniela.
Anyone else, any questions? Again, use the chat function as well if you'd like to input questions or comments in there as well too. Just before we move on, Danielle, I have one that follows on from what Nessa was saying there, and something you mentioned as well too. Commitment and getting commitment from people within the radio station. How much of a challenge was that, or what advice would you give to stations in relation to getting everybody on board?
Yeah, I think it's just step by step, and I think it's really also the story that clicks. For example, Anita, she actually isn't a very caring person, our morning show host, to be honest, to share with you. And she hates like all the people that are sticking themselves to the streets, and she has no understanding whatsoever for that. But as the world of horses and electro vehicle is a thing that really interests her. It was easy to get her on board with the horse stuff. So I think it's also like maybe picking personal stories, personal interests also within your team and asking themselves, so what's your part you can commit? Another person might be really into, we have one person that's totally into minimalistic lifestyle. She just has 3 pair of shoes, and she's now working on a podcast format and kind of delivering her inspo on that. So I think you don't need a lot of eco personnel. Everybody has his story and his connection to the theme, as Claire told us. And I think it's about getting that and to see who can contribute what and in the collaboration.
Brilliant, finding out what matters to them.
Can I add to that, Teresa, actually?
Yeah.
What we're seeing with organizations that we're working with is the teams that work best are the teams where people, whoever is into it, like whoever cares, bring them on board. So it mightn't necessarily be the person or the team you think that's the most obvious candidate, but anybody who has that momentum and that desire to action, you know, just embrace that. And the second thing in terms of how we're advising our clients is to say that there's no such thing anymore of the sustainability manager in an organization. Everybody is like that idea of sustainability being distributed. We all have a role to play too. So if you have somebody who has that job title, I think just think again in terms of like opening that up, that everybody has a role to play and everyone can impact.